Opinion: America has two political parties but 8 political tribes. As a Republican pollster and moderator, I've seen firsthand how the two-party label hides a far richer tapestry of voters. Chris Rock touched on this heft in 2004, noting that people can be conservative in one area and liberal in another. That observation has become a cornerstone of modern polling. People rarely dogmatically aligned with one side of the aisle. The real oddity today is the in-depth alignment within Congress, which has grown more rigid, while the electorate itself remains fluid. We're dealing with a two-party system, but the voters are way more complex than the simple left-right split suggests. New research from my firm paints a clearer picture. America actually has 8 political tribes that cut across demographic, party, and issue lines. These tribes are defined not only by what people do vote for, but also by how they view institutions and social norms. Nearly 40% of Americans cluster into the familiar left and right camps, in our terms, the loyal left and the loyal right. The loyal left makes up about a fifth of all voters, and 42% of self-identified Democrats fall into that group. They're progressive on most issues and feel deeply outraged by widespread corruption. They're overwhelmingly motivated to turn out for the midterms, with more than half saying that politics is a core part of their identity. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a textbook example of that tribe. The loyal right, in contrast, is the traditional conservative base, pulled together by shared attitudes toward institutions and a set of social norms. But the majority of voters belong to one of 6 other tribes that borrow from both families. These groups may look similar on the surface because they split between parties in about the same percentages, yet their core concerns diverge sharply when you dig deeper. The result is turbulence inside the dominant party on the left, especially in this year's primaries, which has to do with debates over corruption, progressive policy, and identity. It signals a budding fault line inside the Republican field, foreshadowing a fiercely competitive primary for the 2028 election. One of these hybrid tribes, the electability Democrats, accounts for roughly 10% of all voters and about 19% of the Democratic cohort. They're also energized about midterm turnout and are progressive on economic issues. Compared to the loyal left, they're more ethnically diverse and hold a slightly lower level of outrage toward corruption, though they still vote heavily. They occupy a crucial middle ground that can either tether the party into the center or drag it toward more radical positions, depending on which issues dominate the conversation. The broader picture is this: while the two-party framing continues to dominate congressional politics, the voter base itself refuses to be neatly boxed. By recognizing 8 distinct tribes, we gain a clearer understanding of why the electorate sometimes feels alienated by ideological homogeneity. And it also explains why coalitions built on the old left-right equation can crumble under pressure from those hybrids who demand a mixed approach. In a world where partisanship is tightening inside institutions, it is the voters' diversity of pull that keeps the political field dynamic. That dynamic keeps elections unpredictable, keeps parties adapting, and keeps the democracy alive. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time for another look at America's political landscape.